Here we go, back again with another video. And yes, we're going to talk about Danny Ballard and Patrick Roberts along with other bits and pieces of information and team news. What should we do at the weekend? Sunderland do travel down to QPR on Saturday and do take on, of course, QPR. Yes, tough game down there. QPR, not the team that they used to be, but it's always a difficult stadium to go play football, and hopefully we can go down there and get a result. And back-to-back victories would be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it? Unbeaten in 3. A nice win against Rotherham, a draw against Coventry, and an absolutely fantastic smashing result against Southampton. But yes, Trey Hume did play for Northern Ireland last night, and he was their man of the match for their team. So well done, Trey Hume. 6 international caps now, and he's getting better and better with every single appearance. There's an interesting article also on Football League World. The 3 Sunderland players that can save Sunderland club millions. But first we'll go into Patrick Roberts. Yes, Patrick Roberts. Will he just walk back into the side? Or should it be exactly the same team as it was against Southampton? Do any players actually, deserve to be dropped out of the side? And should a player just waltz back into the side regardless who they are? Now, Patrick Roberts seems to be all good for the weekend. It will be close, but a decision won't be made till later on at the week. He's almost 100%, and touch wood, he's fully recovered from that little niggle that it was his hamstring where he picked up against Rotherham. Yes, against Rotherham at home. That was against Rotherham at home. But people have said I've had people comment on the chat saying that he's had no assists and no goals, so why should he just waltz straight back into the team? You let me know in the comments down below. Do we keep the same side that beat Southampton 5-0? Or do we drop Bar? Does he deserve to be dropped? And bring in Patrick Roberts? There we go. And Patrick Roberts' ongoing contract talks is also a concern, but hopefully we'll get that sorted out soon. Now, Daniel Ballard. Yes, Daniel Ballard. He had a scan. My source says he had a scan, presumably at Northern Ireland. This happened, he had a scan at Northern Ireland, which made it was okay. He could go and play last night against Kazakhstan. And he played a full 90 minutes against Kazakhstan. And he seems to have come out okay. Touch wood. Everything seems to be okay. Early days. But it's early days. But he wouldn't have played a full game if the scan hadn't come back full and correct and all in order. So happy days. He played a full match last night, and we need Danny Ballard back against QPR because Danny Ballard and Luke 19 have getting 2 clean sheets in the last, being part of the team that's kept 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games. That's brilliant from them 2 players. It'll be great to see after that bit of a scare when he went down with a knock on the ankle against Southampton, and he comes back. He missed the first game against Lithuania. Northern Ireland had that scan. Everything was okay. Then he was allowed to play last night, and he got to a full 90 minutes. I do think they did lose overall though. Right, but also in the football world, so it's an interesting article. We'll talk about this before we go into team news. The three AFC players that can save the club millions. Sunderland not only have had some good recruitment of youngsters in the recent years, but they are also developing their own as well. Since Kirill Louis-Dreyfus became the majority owner of Sunderland last summer, there's been a lot of emphasis on buying young talent from all over the world, as well as utilising the club's own academy. Great idea. There is a clear recruitment structure in place at the Stadium of Light, with a real penchant for signing young players from Louis-Dreyfus's home nation in France in particular. But they have also dipped into the Australian market, Netherlands, Costa Rica, and also plucked players from the English clubs to bolster their ranks. Bolster their ranks even. In years to come, though, the Wearsiders may not need to be aggressive in the transfer market thanks to 3 young talents. Let's take a look at the 3 individuals that could be a big future at Sunderland Stadium of Light. Now, they've got to take these with a pinch of salt because some of these could, depends. They could go. Likes of Chris Rigger's the first one on the list. His parents, apparently, and family are all massive Geordie fans. This 16-year-old doesn't need much of an introduction. He is one of the most wanted youngsters in England, having played schoolboy football for England, and a lot was already expected of Chris Rigg, but perhaps not this soon in his career. From the moment he made his debut at Sunderland in the under-18s through in October 2021 at the age of 14, there was an expectation that big things could be coming. Just 1 year later, January 2023, Rigg made his first team debut at 15 years of age in the FA Cup, having stepped up from the under-21s football, and he had a goal ruled out offside at Craven Cottage against Premier League Fulham in what would have been an incredible moment. Not 17 until June, Rigg made his league debut in September the 2nd when coming off the bench against Southampton, and in the final moments he struck with his head to make it 5-0, and he will likely to be in and around every single match in the squad for the foreseeable future. Newcastle, whose Rigg's family support, and Manchester United were both keen to sign the young teenager earlier this year, but perhaps owing to the first team exposure, Rigg decided to put pen to paper instead on a 2-year scholarship with Sunderland, resisting temptation of a Premier League academy. Clubs will continue to watch Rigg through with more experience he gets in the men's football. Now it's just a case of how long Sunderland can keep hold of Rigg. Rigg, of course, needs protecting, but the midfielder looks more than ready to do the big things despite his age. Absolutely fantastic, Chris Rigg. Now, how long can we keep hold of Chris Rigg? Let me know in the comments down below. Will Chris Rigg want to stay with his club friends for a bit longer? There's no rush. Stay to maybe he's 19, 20. We could get a massive, amount of money for this youngster. I'd love to see Chris Rigg stay for a good few years yet to come. He'll not get first team football in the Premier League just yet, so enjoy, Chris, enjoy it while you're in the Championship with Sunderland. Now the other one, obviously Jude Bellingham's next. Speaking of big reputations, Jude Bellingham's rapid ascent from Championship football with Birmingham to be playing for Real Madrid and England means a lot is expected of his younger brother Job. Instead of making a move to somewhere like Borussia Dortmund through the youngest, Bellingham decided Sunderland would be the next step in his career, reuniting with Christian Speakman, sporting director Christian Speakman, who played a major part in Jude's development at St Andrews. So there you go. Speakman got a massive shout out there. Massive influence in Jude's growth, and now he has Job. Used 22 times by John Eustace in the Championship last season, Bellingham was given a run of starts at the end of the season. But Birmingham cashed in over the summer, selling the attacking midfielder to the Black Cats for initial £1.5 million. Despite being just 17 years of age, Bellingham is a tall man for his age. He already made an impact in the North East, scoring a brace against Rotherham, and he looks central to Tony Mowbray's plans in his number 10 role. Considering how cheap they picked him up for, Sunderland could have been very rich in years to come if Bellingham develops into a top level player, and that position is sorted now for a long time. There we have it. Now, who was the third person on the list I hear you say? And how much could, Job can go for a fortune in the future again if we can hang on to these two youngsters, Chris Rigg and Job, Sunderland could do really well. Now the next one, here we go, Victorious Triandus. Luke O'Nien has proven a good stopgap alongside Danny Ballard in the middle of defence for Sunderland, but he has younger players snapping at his heels waiting to take his place. One of those is Triandus, who is proof of Sunderland's worldwide scout network as he arrived over the summer from Australia. Outfit Central Coast Mariners, having played 25 times for the A-League last season. So far, the 20-year-old has only featured in an EFL Cup match, and the Ballard O'Nien partnership in the league means he will have to wait his turn, and when he does get his chance, Triandus could sort out the defence for a number of years. Well, there we go. So what's your thoughts on all of that? Can we hold on to these youngsters that we have, the likes of Chris Rigg and Job? No reason why not. So the future does look bright at Sunderland. But on Saturday, we do play away at QPR. Now, what team do we start? Personally, me, I'll say it the way it is. I would not change a winning side. When a team wins 5-0, every man to a T deserves to step back out on that in that stadium for me. But I ain't the manager. What will Tony do? Will he keep Bar there and get the progression going? Will he have Roberts on the bench and bring Roberts on? Because maybe Roberts starts and he gets, he's going full pelt at the start of the game. And the team's fresh and fit and he pulls up a game with a hamstring injury. For me, got to be careful. Got to protect players with hamstring injuries. Sit him on the bench. Get him warmed up plenty during the game. Plenty of warming up. See how he feels. Bring him on with 30 minutes to go. That's my idea for Patrick Roberts at the weekend. Keep it the way it is. But an even bigger conundrum, what happens when our strikers are available to play, when they're fit and ready to go? You know, the lad from Chelsea, who do you drop there? Is it the Daxter or is it Job? Which one gets dropped? Even for, for the young lad from Ukraine as well. So we've got massive headache problems, but great to have those kind of headache problems. And it's good to get players back from injury. So there we go. Hope you've enjoyed the video. There should be no change on Saturday. Ballard should be fit, touch wood, barring, any accidents over the week. And also Roberts, for me, I think will make the bench on Saturday. But would you start them? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching the video. We'll do a match preview on Wednesday. Take care. God bless me. God go with you. Anything at all to do with those 3 players, let me know in the comments down below. And now we'll be reading out 1 or 2 comments from the previous video and also a couple of bloopers in there to make us smile. It's Monday. It's pretty depressing, to be fair. Much better when it's on a Thursday and a Friday. Alright, see you later. Take care. Right, so the first comment is from Jammy SFC, a massive fan of the channel, been on here for a long time as a subscriber. Got to keep him. It's about Patrick Roberts, remember. Got to keep him, but as long as he doesn't turn into another Ross Stewart saga, hope it does get sorted quick. Definitely one of the better players we have. That's a good one. Yes, let's not let this drag on like the Ross Stewart saga. We do not want to let it drag on. Let's get this done and dusted now. And if he doesn't want to sign a contract, then unfortunately we'd have to probably let him go in January. Thoughts on that below? Yes, another comment from Malcolm Donaldson. Keep him. However, he won't be fit enough to just go straight back into the team. If he doesn't want to stay, then so be it. Sell him and make a profit from it. Yes, I do agree. I don't think he'd be fit enough to walk straight back into the team. I think on the substitutes bench is a perfect situation for me. And I completely agree with Adam. Yes, Adam Slower with SD2OW. Keep it under £20,000, please. Nobody needs in a week what we have to survive on in a year. Spot on, lad. Exactly, spot on. The wages in football now are ridiculous. Then with this one, Chris Gooch and stuff. I've got no interest in what players are paid. All I'm bothered about is who is in the team and winning matches. Who is in the team and we're winning matches. Paddy will be straight back in the team. He's our best player. But would you play a striker? And which striker? There we go. Chris would put him straight back into the team regardless and probably drop Bar. End of the day, it's a game of opinions. I appreciate everybody's comments on there. Thank you for everyone's comments. Much appreciated. Chris, I see where you're coming from, but personally, I leave him on the bench. But at the end of the day, Tony will decide. He might put him straight back on the team. If he goes back and straight in the team, I wish him all the best. There you go. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Take care. God bless me. God go with you. See you next time on The Mad Mistake. Now, here's a couple of bloopers. Here we go, back again with another video. Like I said, every couple of days I bring you some updates to do with Sunderland news. And Sunderland have had players out on international loan. Cut. So what players would you have in the side? Now, I'm going to... Here we go, back again with another video. And yes, fresh from international duty, Sunderland have had a couple of players out. And we've had a couple of players out. Here we go, back again with another video. And yes, Sunderland are off to the Chris Gooch and stuff. I've got no interest. I've got no interest in what players are paid.